never see them.
Like the organism, like you. So a cytologist studies the cell, which is the brick, to see if it has a problem. And some of those problems could be cancer. Knowing well that cancer is a cellular disease, is a disease at cell level, which is able to multiply in the other parts of the body. Ideally, someone can say is excessive production of cells, which are non-functional and can invade or multiply in the body. That is generally cancer.
Doctor, let's first calm down, because I mean, some of us biology was not so good. So we're trying to understand that when we fall sick, what we later on see as, you know, general body failure, it starts with the cells.
Yes, definitely starts with the cells. So ideally, the problem is in your cell. Even malaria affects the function of the cells. If a cell was, let's say, a blood cell, a red blood cell, was supposed to transport food and then transport also oxygen to your other body parts, and then let's say this disease affects how the blood cell operates, it is going to be a problem, but it's still affecting the functionality of the cell. You get at cellular level. Every disease comes down to the cell.
To the cell.
Yes.
I am telling you, because I know, are there like different kinds of cancers? Because, you know, and do Ugandans know it? Because we've had issues where people think it's witchcraft, and then before you know it, they come to you guys and it's too late.
So there are so many types of cancer. There's various forms of cancer. Every single body part has its own type of cancer.
Wow.
Just as the tongue, the throat, the lungs, the heart, you know, the prostate,
really?
The cervix. Yes. Even the, you know, the penile, there's even penile cancer.
So these things we watch in movies, doctor,
they're really real.
And someone, you know, they've cut their head. You guys have seen those things where they've cut the person bald, and then I thought it was like a general cancer, like.
Actually, that's not the effect of cancer. It's the effect of the treatment of cancer, which is chemotherapy. It's one of the side effects of cancer. Cancer treatment.
Okay, let's first go back and understand the different kinds of cancer before we go into the treatment.
Yeah, so we have various types of cancers, generally everywhere. Skin, you know, anything you can think of, any part of your body that you can think of has its own cancer. You get. But then we also have the most common types of cancers, which, you know, East Africa right now, and specifically Uganda, the predominant one is cervical cancer, which is a cancer of the cervix. It's in the reproductive system of a woman, where now we get a lot of the cases all over. Actually, Uganda Cancer Institute right now has the East African Oncological Center of Excellence. That is Oncological Center of Excellence. Study of cancer, treatment of cancer, diagnosis of cancer is called oncology. So we have a center that is being constructed right now to treat all patients from all over East Africa in Uganda.
Is that in Mulago?
Yes, in Mulago. Uganda Cancer Institute, of course, has the mandate to treat, prevent, to diagnose, and then inform government and influence policies on cancer-related diseases and cancer itself. So now we have all these other types of cancer. The most common one is cervix, cancer of the cervix, with the second one being breast cancer, cancer of the breast, which is not only just for women, but also men. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Men contribute, breast cancer in men contributes 1% of the total breast cancer cases.
Is that big percentage?
1% in men is a big percentage.
Yes, it's a big percentage.
It's a very big percentage, and I think usually it's because men tend to have a very poor health-seeking behavior. So by the time a man goes to, hey, the problem with my breast, it's already too late.
So men can have issues with their breasts?
Yes.
So, okay, I think, doctor, some of us need a lot of schooling. Like some of the things that affect women's breasts can also affect a man's breast.
Yes, some of the things. I like the way you put it. Some of the things. One of the things you can find, or one of the presentation of breast cancer is you find a mass in your breast. a lump in your breast. Some of those lumps are of various types, of course. Some of them are not cancerous, or we call it non-malignant, call them benign. Well, there are others which are malignant. So those masses differ in size. But
when you say masses, that's the time when I hold and I feel something inside.
Yes, a tumor, yes. When you feel something in your breast. Now, there are various, you know, there are various types of those tumors.
Of the cancers.
Yeah.
Doctor, I want us to go for a break, and then when we come back, we talk about some of the causes. Because now you've enlightened us that a man can also actually have what? Breast cancer.
Yeah.
You know, and so I want us, after the break, to talk about what should people actually look out for so that, you know, they do not fall prey to this cancer. Right, you are still live on the continent's leading intellectual platform. I'm actually... All right, and welcome back. You are still live on the continent's leading intellectual platform, actually the highest platform for solution finding. You guessed right, I'm talking about The Desk. And if it's Wednesday, folks, you also guessed right. It's always about The Desk. Follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. TikTok is now buzzing. You should definitely look for Shadrach Kisame everywhere on TikTok. But today, we're discussing more about health. And what we're discussing in particular are the different cancers. We have just found out a mind-boggling fact that even a man can have breast cancer. How do we get here?
So, breast cancer and all other forms of cancers usually do have what we don't call causes, but what we call risk factors.
Risk factors.
Yes, factors that, you know, puts you in a place where you can develop cancer. Yes. So one of them is genetic. That there are certain types of cancers that someone can inherit from their parents, and it is breast cancer.
Really?
Yes. You see, you don't inherit the cancer, but what you inherit are the genes. You get. Now you see, at cellular level, we're talking about DNA.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So the DNA that you inherit from your
Yes.
parents can also contain some of the genes that can be tumor developing or tumor growth initiating genes. You get. So at the end of the day, you are more prone to developing breast cancer or any other type of cancer if there is a family history of the same or any type of cancers. Then such things like gene we do not have control over because we don't choose who gives birth to us, our parents are. Then another thing is you know, life choices, life behaviors like smoking, tobacco or any other forms of smoke.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah, smoking tobacco.
Yes.
And the funny thing, doctor, sorry for cutting you short. The funny thing is that it's always written on that cigarette pack.
Yes.
Excessive consumption of cigarettes may cause
Is harmful to your health.
youth. And people are still doing it. Why are we so, you know, inclined to smoking, yet we know the habits?
So
what it causes?
One of the pharmacological effects of nicotine and tar, which are components or substances found in tobacco,
yes.
is addiction. You get. Research has been done and has shown that telling someone who is already addicted, whether severely or not, to some substance does not deter that person from the consumption. You get.
Yes.
So that's why even if they're putting on the packaging that consumption of this product is harmful to your health, they don't care because of the addiction.
Addicted, oh yes.
You get. That what that does is that it can deter new users. You get. Like if you're a young kid, you've not been exposed. So when you purchase a box of a pack of cigarettes and you see that, like, you pause for a moment, it raises your suspicion. But someone who is already used to consumption, it becomes an issue. Back to cancer.
Yes.
Another issue is alcohol consumption. So alcohol has in it ethanol, and ethanol digestion, not digestion or breakdown, as a way that it forms a substance called formaldehyde or formalin, which in a way forms an aldehyde, which somehow affects your DNA, or it damages DNA and stops reparation of DNA, repair, all that, and increases your potential of developing cancer.
Oh,
But
so-
still,
so-
generally, alcohol and tobacco or smoking has a way of suppressing your immune system. So your ability to remove probably cancerous cells from your body, or probably precancerous cells from your body, becomes low.
Doctor, I want to understand, because you say this lowers the level or the chances of the body repairing, the cells repairing themselves. So maybe for the viewers and even for me to understand, a normal functioning human has the ability to repair their cells naturally.
Naturally, yes. I give you a very simple example. Your skin. If you bruise your skin right now, you know, you'll see a layer peeling off, right? Or in the slightest way, you see a layer peeling off. But tomorrow or 3 days after, you come back and find the skin is normal.
When you've not done anything.
When you've not done anything. How do you think that's possible? It is because your body has the ability to repair itself. You get? The body is constantly producing cells, or is constantly producing its bricks, and constantly also destroying bricks. So a brick that is still useful is left. But the moment it is now old or it has a problem, the body destroys and replaces with another one. You get? Now, imagine a state where the body is producing more bricks than it is destroying. So there will be nowhere to put those bricks.
They are more of excess.
So they're excess. Imagine you're doing it with this wall.
Yes.
Where will the wall behind us? Where will those excess bricks go? So the wall will no longer be as smooth as it is. You get? Now that is cancer. That's why you see people having bigger masses. You get? And they say you have a mass in. It is because of that. Another cause of cancer usually is radiation, exposure to radiation, like X-rays, UV light. We are blessed, and that's why they say, you know, environmental conservation is very important. The ozone layer protects us from the sun UV. You get all those, you know, radiations that could be coming from
that are so much.
Yes, and they're cancerous. And then, you know, also there are other forms of bombs, like atomic bomb. You've seen the case of Japan.
Yes.
You get Chernobyl. People develop a lot of cancer in the years to come. You get. And then there are also other, you know, other specific causes, especially in cervical cancer of women.
Yes,
there's a virus called human papilloma virus, which is almost also transmitted the same way as HIV, except for blood. You get.
So it's sexually transmitted?
It's sexually transmitted. If you have most of the carriers are men who are not circumcised, because you're carrying from one woman to another. So the HP virus subspecies of 16 and 18 have a very high potential to induce cervical cancer in women. And so that's why there is a need to do HPV screening. There is need to get vaccinated against.
Right.
There is a vaccination against HPV virus, which
for women.
For women, this is for women. While for the men, most common cancer in men is prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is the cancer of a gland that is responsible for producing the semen. You know, when you are indulging in sexual intercourse, there's a certain fluid that you produce.
The semen.
The semen, yes.
Yes.
So at the end, the prostate gland is responsible for producing the bulk of that semen, the thing that looks mucus, you know, in the form. Yes. That is the role of the prostate gland. Those, you know, the semen is responsible for making sure that the sperms are healthy. When they reach, they get what they need. So at the end of the day, prostate gland with age enlarges, and then sometimes you develop cancer. It's very common in older men in Uganda and, you know, all over the world. Yes.
Wow. I'm telling you, there's so many things that we take for granted and you actually have no clue. But Doc, I want us to go for a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll just talk about how, you know, briefly how people can prevent that, how people can stay safe. You know, others don't even care until it happens to them, because usually we've been watching cancers in movies, and you don't know someone physically. Like I've never seen anyone physically.
Thank God.
Who has it. So some people think it's not real, but after the break, we'll talk about how people can stay away. But do not go away. The desk takes a break and the desk returns in a moment. All right, and we'll come back now. In case you've just joined us, I'm afraid you've missed the first two insightful segments of this very lovely episode of The Desk, where we're talking more biology than you will ever know. Some of you ditched biology in senior 1. By the time you got to senior 4, there was nothing to talk about. Like, I was going to school with people and they were saying, Shadrack, you're already F9, Mundeke. I'm telling you, but biology is interesting when now the things you study